Hello, everyone. I can't believe I am finally doing this. I know you must be wondering what's happening, what's going on with her, what's the big deal? It's actually a big deal. And you won't understand until I tell you what happened before this. So let's go back a bit. Earlier this year, I started getting a prompting to share more about my journey of intimacy with God. Usually I do this through carousel on my Instagram page. I prefer to write them. I'd rather not do a video, you know. So when I started getting the prompting to talk more, to talk about them, I was like, I said, let me just be writing, talking. I didn't want to have to talk because for me there was this fear of knowing how to draw the line between what to share and what should be considered sacred. There was just this fear, and at the same time, I felt like I didn't have to put a face to it. I would rather just write about it and let people read. Well, the feeling was still there until I decided. It was a journey actually. I decided and I was like, okay, I see reasons. I would do it. But then when I decided to do it, there was another challenge. I felt like I needed to be ready to do it. So when I mean ready, I mean I needed to have everything, the gadgets. Even though I had a quite good phone, I thought of the lights, the blue light, the dark light, whatever those lights that creator use. And I was like, oh, I needed a tripod stand. I had a list of the things I needed before I could start. And to me, it was coming from a place of I can't do God's thing anyhow. I have to deliver. I have to be excellent. I even thought of an introduction. I'm going to the studio to do an introduction. I'm reading out the words. I've edited the words. But I never did them. Because somehow the things I needed didn't come. That is a mystery. And you know what I told myself? I told myself that, is it not God? For everything that I've needed to do in my life, when God tells me to do something, somehow the resources will come and God will provide the resources. That's the way I believe it. So this time around, I felt like if the resources weren't coming, it means it wasn't yet time. Don't forget I told you I've been getting promptings to do this actually since last year. So since last year I started writing it down. God told me about it last year. I started writing it down and somehow I've even gotten topics topics to talk about. When I'm in this usually comes in prayer, when I'm praying, when I'm having my time with God. And we came to this year, we entered this year, and I kept giving excuses. I kept telling myself, I will do it. I'm just waiting for resources now. I'm just waiting for resources. It seems like a genuine excuse. And I didn't really see any big deal to it because I felt, to me, there was no urgency. He has told me to do it, and I said yes. And that was good for me. I'm not saying no. I've already said yes. So I would do it. But the time when I would do it is what I don't know. I kept waiting for resources. And to me, is when the resources come, I will start. Until a week ago, my week started like a usual week. I had my goals mapped out for the week. Then I already broke them down into daily goals. So I knew what my week was looking at and what my day was looking like. So there was no tension anywhere. I was meeting up with my task. But then this week, that particular week, so that was last week I was talking about, was different. It was as if there was this urgency on my mind. And usually when I feel this way, it's ever I am overwhelmed with work, or I'm scared that I might not be able to meet up with a particular work or something. It's coming from a place of being nervous, being scared that I'm not able to meet up with something. So when I started feeling this last week, I I couldn't place it. I was like, what's going on? Did I forget something? Is there something that I needed to do that I didn't do? I kept asking myself, but I couldn't place it. I couldn't see anything. So I decided to just go about my day. I remember it was the mid of the week. I started feeling it was more. And usually I pray every day. I study my Bible every day. So I will go study, I'll pray. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't connect it to anything spiritual. I felt like it was work. So something, probably I'm apprehensive about a lot of things because a lot of things that happened a week before and which was related to work. So I said maybe I needed to calm down. Maybe I needed to relax. So fortunately for me, that last weekend, I didn't have anything to do that weekend. Usually, my Saturdays are not for relaxing. I work on Saturdays because I have classes, I have students that I need to meet up with, teach and all. But this particular weekend, I didn't have so much. And for the first time in a long while, I thought of, okay, let me step out. Let me do something that is not like my routine. And I remember that day I reached out to a friend that had been trying to reach me for a long time. We spoke, and by the time we ended the call, I ended it with, thank God today I'll get to relax. Please just go because we've spoken for so long. I was like, go and rest. Let me rest as well. He said, you're not doing anything today. I said, oh no, I just want to rest. There's nothing much today. And he was like, let's step up now. Let's go out. Let's relax. Let's just go out and talk. Go to the garden, just sit and talk. And I thought of it, I was like, okay, maybe something unusual. Then I agreed. Then we went out. So we were there, sat down, we talked about everything, business. Because this, my friend, is actually a very ambitious person. So when it comes to business wise, we talk all around, just inspire one another. So we kept talking about everything. After a while, he suggested that we walk. And I love walking, but because of work lately, I've not been doing so much of it, so I'm just in the house. I've even told myself I'm going to start doing evening walks, which I have not started. But then when he suggested this walk, I was so happy. So I said, oh, let's go. So we walked round, we did a very long walk. At the point, he was feeling sorry for me that, are you sure you can do this? I said, you don't know I love walking. He said, please, anywhere, let's go. And on that day, it was quite hot. Even though it was evening, it was quite hot. And I remember when we finally got back to where we were, it was so hot that we had to go into the car and put on the AC so that we could feel better. And the moment I entered the car, that feeling came back. I was like, what's going on? So I got up that day. I remember it was way past my prayer time, so I couldn't pray that day. I told myself I'll pray in the midnight. So I slept, woke up in the midnight. It was not like my usual prayer because I was tired. So I was like, oh, God, thank you. Then I told myself, oh, thank God tomorrow is Sunday. So in church, we'll cover everything up together. So I went to church the next day. And it was good time in the presence of God. And I remember coming back from the church, that feeling came back again. And I started telling myself, no, this is not work. I need to report this feeling to my father because what's going on? I've been feeling this thing. I said, no, this is not a physical thing. That was what I told myself, this is not a physical thing. It's for my spirit. And I don't understand what my spirit is trying to tell me. So I told myself, we have to pray about this. But that day I got home late because I had some things to do outside. So I took a very long time before I got home. When I got home, it was quite late. So I just did my wishy-wash prayer. I think I was on bed sleeping off. So when I did that prayer, then yeah, I'm back. I lost myself somewhere there, so I had to cut it. So I woke up the next day, and now this sense of urgency was now very heavy in my spirit. Not even on my body, it was very heavy. But this feeling was so much. What I didn't tell you was that on that Sunday evening, it became too much that I felt like I was going to, I don't want to say faint, but when you feel like you are just empty, like you are becoming lifeless. That was what I felt. And at that moment, I just realized that, see, this isn't physical. This is not a physical thing, Rebecca. You need to pay attention. So I slept and I woke up quite early the next day. This was on a Monday. So normally I don't pray in the morning. So my prayer time, when I talk about my prayer of intimacy, I do it in the evening. So I have one in the evening and I have it in the early hours between 2 to 3 a.m. That's when I do my prayer of intimacy. But this morning I had to do a prayer of intimacy because of it. I would say it was an emergency. So I started praying. I got my phone, I went on YouTube. I have gospel artists that I listen to. So I started listening to worship. And for the next 30 minutes, I couldn't connect in worship. Now, this is strange because I am somebody that, the moment I go to my YouTube and I listen to either Sumisola or Gracie Doe, I am good. But then I listened to Sumisola, from Sumisola to Gracie Doe. I was like, what's going on? And I said, okay. I went to another gospel artist. So I had to go to another gospel artist. I had to go to all this Hillsong, so there are times I just change the tempo of my worship. And there are sometimes I don't even go on YouTube, I use my mouth to worship. So it just depends on what I'm feeling that day. So don't forget, I said this one, I'm feeling like it's an emergency and something is really heavy. So I needed something to help me connect. But all the songs I had that day, nothing was connecting. And I've already used more than 30 minutes, which is very rare. 30 minutes is enough for me to start getting it. But then I kept pushing. And this time I started praying. I started speaking in tongues. Praying. And I did this for another 30 minutes. And now, this is 1 hour in prayer. And nothing was happening. No impression. I can't even talk about impression because at this stage, I couldn't connect. My heart was still hovering everywhere. I knew I wasn't in prayer yet because nothing. I was still, where I am in my heart, in my mind. I wasn't connecting at all. I hope you understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about, connection. When you're in prayer, you just know when you have gotten to a place where your mind has been filtered. And usually this is how prayer is for me, especially my prayer of intimacy. Now they are different. Now I'm talking about my prayer of intimacy. So this time around, nothing. It was bland. Like nothing was happening. And this was 1 hour in prayer. In that moment, I was like, in my spirit, I was saying, what's going on? My God, what's going on? I don't understand. And at that moment, I think the Spirit of God saw that I was really interested in, getting out of this place. A Bible verse dropped in my mind. And he kept telling me to say, for God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. For God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. I kept saying it. I said this for another 10 minutes. And as I was saying it, the Spirit of God told me, that Spirit told me, start praying in your understanding. Don't pray in tongues, pray in your understanding. So I say, oh God, thank you. Thank you for everything you have done. Thank you. And before you know it, I didn't know how I entered forgiveness of sin. It's like, God, forgive me. I know I'm not perfect. There are some things that I might have done that I'm not even aware of, that I don't know. And at the moment when I was saying this, I started crying. Hey. See, you know what? For me in prayer, whenever you see me praying and I'm crying, just know that it's either the Holy Spirit is leaving an impression on me or God is speaking to me. It's one of the two. I'm not talking about this when I cry, maybe for personal reasons, but mostly during my prayer of intimacy, when I'm crying, it is either of the two. And this time, when I started saying that thing, I started crying. And I was like, even me, I was like, why are you crying? What's going on? Why are you crying? But I couldn't control it. I kept eating forgiveness of sin. And while I was doing it, shedding tears, I just had in my spirit, he disobeyed me. the way I'm reacting here is the way I reacted. I was like, sorry? I was still crying, but I was like, disobeyed you. I was like, wow, like, what did I do? And all this was happening in my spirit, not that I was saying it physically. So I was like, thank you, Father, for forgiveness of sin. Now I was just praying there while still crying and trying to figure out what disobedience, what have I done? But I know that, see, I can't go to God and be saying, God, what have I done? I don't know, maybe for you it's different, but I know that God doesn't speak much. He tells you what he wants to say. And you can't impress on him to say, tell me something except he chooses to tell you. So when I want to ask God something, I kind of don't go directly. I try to go through his word, to make it a consign to him through his word, something that just relates to his word, so that I could get what I want to get. And sometimes, I'm not saying it happens all the time, there are sometimes he will not even tell me. But this time around, I wanted to know what I have done, like how have I disobeyed, God. So I sat on the chair and I figured out I can't say for what have I done. I just said, okay. I continued praying. I was like, oh God, thank you. In whatever way I've committed any sin. I apologize. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I know that our nature sometimes it might just even be a little thing. So I kept saying, these words. And when I was saying it, and I said, oh God, purge me. I said, Father, purge me. So whatever it is that have made me to disobey you, I pray that you help me so that this I can do better next time. You help me, you purge me of it. If it's something that is of human nature, if it's something that has to do with my weakness, so that I can be a perfect vessel, molded for your glory, molded for your work. When I was saying this, he just told me what I did. Oh, hey, hey. And he told me what I did. Yeah. To me, it was like, okay, I disobeyed. And sincerely, I disobeyed. So, I might not be able to give a, big picture, but I kind of told you why I'm doing this video from the beginning. So it has everything to do with why I'm doing this video. So for me, when God told me to start talking about my journey of intimacy, I told you how I didn't see any reason to even put a face to it. And I went through a journey, I understood, and I said, okay, yes. But after I said yes, I didn't start. Then I had excuses for not starting. I told myself I didn't have enough gadgets, enough things to start. I didn't have. And that has stalled it to this moment. And mind you, God told me this thing since last year, and He told me to start this year. But I had enough excuse. And while He told me this is what I did, and to me, somewhere in my mind, I was still feeling like, but because I just wanted the thing to be perfect, I wanted the thing to be excellent, I wanted a perfect execution, and God told me, am I imperfect that you are planning to give me a perfect execution? Am I not the one that told you to do something? Why did you feel the need to make it perfect for me? And I was like, okay, wait. So that I want to make it excellent. I wanted, a perfect execution. Was that bad? And right there, the way I was sitting, he said, it's not bad. But that I told you to start. I didn't say think about it. I told you start. And you felt you could take time because you wanted to make it perfect. So me that told you to start, did you think I didn't see the need for perfection? Hey! Ooh! Right there. When the Spirit of God is talking to you, and right there you said you are telling yourself, back out. I was beginning to tell myself, I was killing myself with words. I was like, okay. So the Spirit of God was telling me, it now reminded me something that happened in 2023. In 2023, God told me to start something. And when He told me to start, He told me it wasn't yet the time. And I remember I waited. I was so anxious, I wanted to start already. But then he said, not yet time. So I had to wait. And I remember in 2023, I traveled, I came back. By 2024, at the beginning of 2024, on my birthday, that's before my birthday, he told me you can start. And I read, oh, you see the planning. Now, mind you, around this time, I didn't have resources as well. I didn't have resources. But I made it happen because it was something that he had told me. I was like, I was excited because it had a lot to do with my career. I was excited. I looked for things. I spoke to my friend. And around that time, see, God's so good and kind. Around that time, my friend opened a studio that was going to help me, that I needed for what I wanted to do. And it just worked out for my good. But I went out of my way and I made it happen. And God reminded me, he said, when you had to do with your career, didn't you make it happen? Didn't you look for a way to make it happen? He said, so when it came to my home thing, you thought you needed to wait. You were waiting for me to bring resources. You were waiting for me to bring resources. You were taking your time when I've told you start. I'm going to end this way. See, don't let your need for perfection, don't let your need to have a perfect execution, to start excellently, stall you or delay you from doing what the Spirit of God has told you to do. I know there's every tendency, because we are humans, you might have excuses. But no matter the excuse you have, even though it's a good excuse, because see, that is what I want to hammer on today. Even though it's a good excuse, when God tells you to do something, when he says start, when he says do something, it doesn't even have to be about a project. But when he says probably go this place, say this thing, see, don't second guess it, don't think about it, just do. Now, I am talking to people that, you are certain that it is God that is talking to you. You have that relationship with God. We will talk about the journey of intimacy another time. But today, I just want to start with why I am finally doing this, which is something that the Spirit of God has told me to do for a while now. But I allowed my own plan, my own need for perfection, my own need to present this elegantly to delay me. I even told myself I needed a mic. Now I'm doing this without a mic. You can see that there's no mics anywhere. And I'm talking to you out there that don't delay. Don't see the need to be perfect. There's a place of doing it well, because of course we can't give our God something that is less so, not good enough. But in the absence of all these things, he knows, right? He knows that you don't have these things. And he's telling you, go ahead. He's telling you, just go. Just start. Else, you will be a disobedient child, like I was. And I can imagine God telling me that I was disobedient. And I thought about it and I imagined. So I have decided henceforth, I am not going to wait. I am not going to, when he said do something, say, I'm going to remove that my need to be perfect, because I have that tendency, that my need to execute perfectly, to go all the way, I am going to, no more. So I am saying it again. If you are watching me today and there's something that you have been stalling on, there's something that God has told you to do that you've been giving all excuses, and they seem good, they actually seem good, they are reasonable. Auntie, uncle, stop it today. Stand up and do it. Don't be that disobedient person. So this is me telling you that I'm leaving that place, and I hope you are also leaving. Let's leave all the excuses behind. Let's leave all the good excuse, the bad excuse, the one that I'm not doing this perfect. Believe me, if I told you how I'm doing this today, I'm not doing it perfect. I'm doing it because I just want to be obedient. I want to do what he has told me to do, because he's the master of my life. When he tells me to do something, why should I stop? Why should I wait? Why should I want to be perfect? When he's a perfect God, So my own is just to do. I have done. Now, that weight has been lifted. I remember when I told him in prayer, I was like, I'm so sorry. I will do it. I will do it. I started making plans. I don't need all these things. I'll get up, do it. And gradually, the weight lifted. And as of yesterday, when I knew I was doing this, today. I knew I was doing this today. It was like I felt lighter. And today, as I was planning, everything, the fear was gone, everything left me. I was like, hey, but I know you know what I'm saying now. I know you understand. I feel like I'm reading it again, but I know we are good. You get the message, right? Yeah. Until we meet again, like children, we got the koboko. Yeah. So until we meet again, and what I will keep sharing is I'll focus on my journey of intimacy with God. So if you are that person that is looking forward to having a very close relationship with God, then this is the place for you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I am still on that journey, but I know that we can actually journey together. We can share these things with one another. You can learn from me. I can learn from you. While we grow together. Because for me, I don't see any essence to life except to fulfill what the Father has set me yet to live my life for Him, to fulfill purpose. Because remember, the Bible says we are the light of the world, and a light set upon a hill cannot be hidden. So if your light isn't shining so bright to impact other people, for other people to learn from other people to take and grow, then what's the essence of your life? And if the Master said, do this, that is what you should do. Now I'm done here. Bye, everyone.